Hey there, everybody. Just going to allow everybody to start sort of filtering in. Wonderful to have your company on this Wednesday night at USA time and Thursday morning Aussie time. I'll explain how that works a little bit later on. Wonderful to have your company. Thanks for joining us for the first ever Wednesday nights with Wade. Just thought I'd add a bit of lunacy to your Wednesday nights. We're just going to have a bit of fun, hey? How do you like my backyard, by the way? Hope you like what I've done with the place. That was a photo I took a few years back, actually. I think around 2017, something like that, on the Sunday morning after the Nationals. Without a doubt, the saddest time in Knoxville is the Sunday after the Nationals. Hey, I appreciate you telling me whereabouts you're from. Hello to Michael Ingham from Pella, beautiful part of the world. So good they even named a gorgeous dog in the Hordenchild family after it. So the purpose of Wednesday nights with Wade is to have a bit of fun, catch up with some of the legends of our sport, speak to some of the stars of the future, some of the present stars, and also just people of interest. So really looking forward to doing all of those things with you every Wednesday night from here until I get the axe, I guess. It's a little bit scary having someone like me being in control of the good ship Knoxville Raceway at the moment. Hello, Tammy from Lincoln, Nebraska. Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Steve Moffat. Well, that's pretty relevant, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, given that we're about to speak to Brady Bacon very shortly as well. I've got a few little housekeeping notes I want to tell you about. The Denison Racing tees for all of your exclusive Knoxville Raceway merchandise, of course. And we have new items coming out for Christmas. Woo, woo. Can't wait for that. Hello to Kelly Garrett Bacon. I wonder if she knows anything about Brady. Maybe she can tell me a couple of little interesting little sneaky bits. Feel free to ask some questions if I can get to them that you want me to throw at Brady. Quick little background. My name is Wade Aunger. I've been lucky enough to be a guest of the Knoxville Raceway with the announcing team of Tony Bockhoven, Chris Krug, Mike Roberts over the last 5 years, and always just come in and have some fun and let loose. And I just thought, hey, let's do this. Let's get around some people and do some things that just going to be fun, basically. So without further ado, I need to cross, I think it's in Winchester, Indiana right now, and bring in the Bacons where it is taco night. Now, I always thought taco night was Tuesday nights, but turns out in the Bacon household, the normal rules don't apply. So let's see if we can cross right now, if the technology works. Looks like it's going to. Oh, I love it when technology works.
Oh my gosh, she's got it messed up now.
That's okay. Brady Bacon, happy Wednesday night. It's taco night at your house, mate.
Yeah, we were gonna try to show you one, but it's all gone.
Oh, I can't really complain. You always have some tri-tips for me normally at the Raceway, and I usually get some of Mama's world famous lemonade.
Yeah.
Lemonade. So, you know, I always get the love. Hello, Nathan is tuned in from Bristol in the United Kingdom, Brady. I love this about Facebook Live, mate. We're going to get people from all over the world tuning in. Firstly, congratulations, mate. New USAC national champion.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a relief to get it over with.
Incredible to think, Brady, that at the start of the year, it would have seemed almost unlikely that you would get to race anything, let alone actually win a national championship. So it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a weird year because it was kind of nothing going on. And then just the stress of not knowing what was going to happen, when it was going to happen, if it was going to happen. And then pretty much ever since we got going again, it's been pretty wide open. So it's been a taxing year just mentally and stuff. But, you know, once we kind of got back in our rhythm and stuff, it was good. But yeah, great to win a championship, especially obviously it was a challenging year with many aspects, but you know, this is the first one. The operations are kind of moved more under my control up here at my shop in Union City, Ohio. So it was a little more gratifying to put in that extra work myself and be able to carry on the Hoffman name and
Yeah.
get the 12th championship.
Yeah, now we're going to talk a lot about the Hoffman team. It's absolutely iconic. We're going to talk more about that soon. I want to go back to the beginning a little bit. You're an only child, Brady. For some reason, that doesn't surprise me, mate. When were you born and where?
January 26, 1990 in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
And a fairly famous place, I must say, from a man really put that on the map in the formative years of the World of Outlaws that really put Broken Arrow on the map, didn't he?
Yeah, Andy Hillenberg was obviously the, biggest name there for a long time. Lance Blevins, and then Tulsa suburbs, other Tulsa suburbs. Darren Pittman, Shane Stewart, and then Oklahoma City has Christopher Bell and many others. A lot of talent came out of that area.
I'm going to show you a very old photo, Brady. I'm just hoping it works. So I got to try and work out how. So that is 1992 with Lance, the Sitco shirt. That's me interviewing with a handheld tape recorder. That Sitco car was cool, man. Like it was almost like NASCAR had Sitco, and then all of a sudden Sitco came into sprint cars, which was huge at the time.
Yeah, it was just. I guess I don't know if it's just because of that was when I was young and watching as a fan, but seemed like the prime or pinnacle of sprint car racing. Had the Channel Lock car, the Quicker State car, Sitco, STP.
Yeah.
A lot of corporate sponsors, Mopar, and they were just so vivid and unique. Everyone at Pennzoil 22. So remember a lot of memories from watching that. It's a little different now. You can have access to all that stuff all the time, but when I was growing up, you had to go the two or three times a year that the Outlaws were close to you.
Yeah.
You had to go see it in person. That was it.
Yeah, and from Oklahoma's point of view, Shane Carson always promoted the iconic Bud Carson Memorial at the Oklahoma City Fairgrounds, which was always massive as well.
Yeah, I used to go down there usually for the Outlaw show at Oklahoma City, and when it was on the big half mile, they didn't race that track very often, except for like when the Outlaws came or big shows. So it was pretty cool. A couple of times my dad raced on like a 360 on a little track when the Outlaws were on the big track, and I remember a couple of times that place was always known for getting winded out. It had a couple of times the wind was too much and they had to cancel the races. But yeah, and then Tulsa Speedway, obviously, watched them there. Just remember the crowds being huge for when the Outlaws came to town.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that because Tulsa has become the focal point of the world of dirt track racing indoors every year. It's absolutely the iconic indoor event on the planet.
Yeah, I remember. I think I've probably been to everyone since probably '95 or so. I remember I have to obviously be in school at the time usually, and go to school. My dad would pick me up from school, go straight to the Chili Bowl. I might do my homework in the truck or something, or go eat something, finish my homework, and then be at the races till 10:30 or whatever, and then go back home and get up and go to school the next day and do it all over again. So that was always really cool, and just see all the big names and everything. And I just remember the Bondio car always had something new. And back in those days, Jerry Russell, like Lasowski, they'd have wild cars, JJ Yaley, all these big side panels and all this exotic stuff. So that's kind of gone away a little bit, but I remember it was always a treat to see what everyone would come up with to bring to the Chili Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of a school student were you, Brady? Were you a diligent student, or were you always daydreaming about driving race cars?
No, actually, I got all A's through school. I was valedictorian. I was able to skip a year of high school. Yeah, skip a year of high school. But in my senior year, I was actually driving full time for Casey Kane Racing in USAC. So I had quite a bit to juggle, but I went to a private school and they were very accommodating. And as long as I pretty much got it done at some point and did it right, they were pretty lenient on due dates and things like that. One of my best friends, his dad was the vice principal, so I had a little connection to help me slide by on some stuff. I had some teachers complain a little bit, and he would always kind of brush it under the rug and take care of me.
God love him. It's probably a sweeping generalization to say it, Brady, but yeah, there's a lot of guys like Jack Hordenshield and those kind of guys. That's racing is all they've ever known. They've literally been old enough to race and they've gone and raced. So you actually approached it differently then.
I mean, I raced since I was 5 years old, and my dad raced. We just didn't necessarily race. He didn't race for a living, obviously.
But there was still a focus on school for you anyway, which is fairly different, say, with Jack's story as an example.
Yeah. I mean, my parents used racing as a motivational tool for school.
Ah.
I just have. I mean, school came easier to me than I know it comes to some people. And I was just a motivated person and don't like to be bad at anything. So anything I'm doing, I like to do it right. That's why I don't play golf, because I'm not good. So I don't even want to do it if I'm not good at it.
Tell me about your dad. Tell me about his racing.
Yeah, he raced micros in the 80s, early 90s. He actually raced against him for a few years, and that was fun. But he raced, was very successful in sprint cars, the champ sprint division, they called it, in Tulsa. So they had 410s and 360s every Saturday night at Tulsa Speedway, and he would race in the 360 division. Won a ton of races, championships, things like that. And then the car that he drove was my first sprint car. I drove for those cars, Don and Pat Carnes. So that kind of gave me my first break into, sprint cars or midgets. And then the first midget I drove was originally supposed to be for my dad, and I kind of wiggled my way in there and was pretty good from the start. And it was a pretty big snowball effect from there. But he taught me, we raced everything out of our shop on a super tight budget, the micro sprints, and taught me a lot about, all my mechanical knowledge stems from what he taught me, and stretching things out as much as you can, and what you need to do and what actually makes your car faster and what doesn't. And we didn't necessarily have the prettiest, cleanest cars, which my philosophy on that's changed a little bit over the years, but the things that needed to be right were right, even if we had to make it ourselves or change stuff. He built my first quarter midget he bought, but my second one he built from scratch. Up and everything himself. So always hands-on mechanical stuff, and he just taught me how to work hard to make stuff go fast.
Yeah,
not necessarily just spend money, but hard work goes a long way too.
Well, particularly when you don't have that money to start with, Brady, that, at least if you can at least start with one, when the other one dries up, you can go back to the basics on the first one.
Yeah, for sure. And we were not a wealthy family by any means. Obviously fortunate enough to have enough money to go racing, and we did enjoy that. But we didn't have enough to just get whatever we wanted. We had to kind of make what we had worked. And obviously he had a good relationship with some of the, manufacturers and things like that, which helped, and he provided feedback, and then both of us eventually started doing that. And I still do that with, some of my sponsors and partners today, kind of what makes it all work and makes the world go around for me, I guess.
Well, I noticed on your Instagram the other day, you put quite a lengthy video on just thanking all the people that made the championship possible. And man, I was surprised, but at the same time, it made sense to me that you've had some long-term relationships, like the Triple X chassis. I didn't realize you've been almost a dozen years running those chassis.
Yeah, I was running for Casey Kane, and actually we were kind of struggling at the time in our sprint car program. And Mike and Megan Eubanks, who's Telstar, who I drove my first midget for, and won my first USAC midget race in the black 99 Telstar midget. They had started racing sprint cars, and I called them and asked them if they might have an extra one for me to run some of the TNT races in the Midwest, because I didn't get to race at home very much at the time. And they raced in Kansas and Oklahoma and stuff. And we put one together, and we were just super fast right out of the box, and just kind of kept it simple, and they worked. And anything that I've had a choice on, I've chosen Triple X since. And I even got Hoffman. That was one of the contingent deals when I came to run for Hoffman, was that they get a Triple X car. And it was kind of a half a joke at first. I said, "Hey, Richard, I'll come run for you in Florida if you buy a Triple X." And we happened to be like at the Triple X booth, and he made a deal, and they did it. And I ran for him probably 5 or 6 times that year. And then in 2013, we ran our first year together, doing the whole series with exclusively on Triple X's.
And that familiarity, is so important to you, Brady, isn't it? Just understanding how the car is going to work. And I know that no two race cars are the same. You can put them on the same jig, 500 times, but there's always going to be a difference in millimeters. But understanding the familiarity, and I guess they understand what you need as well, that must make a big difference.
Yeah, it does. I mean, besides myself and Triple X, you can see Donnie Schatz and J&J and Ricky Warner, they changed so little for so many years that they were just fine tune. They never have to figure out their baseline, and they can try something 5 or 6 times. And if it works every time, then they can, they shift their box over that direction. They're not making wholesale changes or shooting in the dark. They're just refining and fine tuning, which is something I feel like we've been able to do with the Triple X's, wing and non-wing both.
You talked about the Hoffman family and how you were able to bring them over to the Triple X. I did a little bit of a Google before on that incredible legacy. 92 years in the racing game, started by August. What a great name. Or Gus, old timer as they call him. And then
old timer, yeah.
Then the late Richard, his passing had a profound effect on everybody, both he and Gus, National Sprint Car Hall of Famers. What an honor, Brady. I know you're getting the job done, don't get me wrong, but what an honor to race for a team that's had some of the true greats of our sport.
Yeah, definitely. To see, the list of drivers and the list of their champions is pretty incredible. And it's definitely, chalks up to the team and their work ethic throughout the years. Because I think the one year Richard, he liked to tell stories a lot. One year they won the championship with 13 different drivers. They won the Owners Championship. So I think Tracy Hines was their primary driver, but he was running trucks at the time. So wherever they were going, that he wasn't able to go there. If they were going to Putnamville and John Stambro was good at Putnamville, they'd try to hire John Stambro for Putnamville or someone else as a specialist for Winchester or IRP or whatever the case was. And yeah, they had 13 different drivers and won the Owners Championship.
My first exposure to them was with Robbie Stanley. I just remember Robbie running that iconic 69 car, and of course, the late, great Rich Vogler as well, who was, oh my God, just what an era that must have been, Brady. You and I were sort of too young to really, well, you certainly weren't around for it, but
I was born, yeah.
Those guys were just phenomenal, the Vogler era in particular.
Yeah, and I mean, you watch videos from that era and the amount of lack of control they had over the cars, the shocks and everything have come such a long way. I mean, they're basically just along for the ride sometimes, and for guys to basically be able to elevate themselves above everybody else time and time again is pretty impressive.
So the 12th national championship for the Hoffman team, 120 wins. Now, I guess we're just counting significant main events because there would be thousands of heat race wins and quick times and stuff like that. That's not detailed, but it's your third USAC national championship. Is it any more satisfying because it's so significant for that team?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to win their 10th, which was pretty obviously a milestone championship for them.
Yeah.
Become the winningest driver for Hoffman's was another milestone. I think that was at 14 or 15 victories, and I think we're at 25 or 26 with the Hoffmans now. Wow. So yeah, it's just my relationship with them was great. The entire time I was with them, we just clicked, and at the time I drove for them, they were kind of had a reputation of being hard to work with. But I just never had that issue. I think I had the same level of drive and determination that they had, and we just never had any issues there. Obviously, you have your disagreements or difference of opinions and things, but we're always able to work it out. And Rob was the crew chief, and Richard, obviously, the owner. And we just, if we were struggling, we just put our heads together and figured it out. And they were able to give me enough, say in the mechanical aspect of things to give me a level of comfort that I kind of enjoy. I'm not the kind of guy that just hops in it and drives it. I kind of like to beat people off the track and making my job on the track a little easier.
So you're not cold trickle. Is that what you're saying to me, Brady?
Yeah, no, not necessarily. I like to be in the shop or be a part of making changes to make things better and enjoy that aspect of it, almost as much as I do driving them.
Now, you've got 3 of the most beautiful children on the planet. And I hear a couple of them buzzing around. You're more than welcome to bring them up and say hello and tell us who they all are.
Yeah.
Oh my
This is
God.
Winley. Can you wave hi at him?
Oh, she just melts me. Hi, beautiful.
Oh, she's getting nervous.
What's Lemony doing?
I don't know. I'll have Cece's gonna go grab him.
She's so beautiful. And your little guy, mate, he is just ornery. That photo, I think it was actually Zizi that took the photo of him at Knoxville Raceway on the racetrack, just with that scowl.
Yeah.
Like wow, that's just ornery.
Yeah, he's just very determined. When he gets in kind of in the zone of what he's doing, he doesn't like to be bothered. And this one likes to bother him while he's doing it. So he'll have his cars all lined up perfectly, like he wants them, and then she'll come through and knowing that it's going to make him mad, knock them all down.
Yeah.
Hey, he wants to ask about race cars. Come here. He's getting nervous. We're going to have to get.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it takes a little bit of time to bring him in. That's all right. I remember that. Mate, Oklahoma, we talked about the history of. Hi, beautiful gal. Here we go. Hi, Levany. I like your bow. Look, yeah, there you go. There we go.
Lowry just doesn't like when we go to the racetrack.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. What are you guys doing? Did you have tacos for dinner tonight?
Yes.
Who cooked the tacos? Was it Mum or Dad that made the tacos?
Dad.
No.
Dad. Good man. It wasn't there, was it?
He's covering up for me.
What is your taco recipe, Brady? Is there a special way you like your tacos? Everyone likes it different.
Cece's mom and her family, they actually get the corn tortillas and fry them in oil and everything fresh, and have got her special, ground beef recipe. And so it's kind of like a hybrid between like a, traditional street taco and an American taco. So yeah, we do the lettuce and the cheese like a Taco Bell style taco, but
yep.
Got the, the fresh fried tortilla and everything. It's kind of the best of both worlds.
Everybody that knows you knows that it's good to be around your motorhome if there's a bit of tri-tip action going on, that you're a beef guy. Does that come from the Oklahoma sort of side of things?
Yeah, I mean, we always like cooking and having food for everybody, but we were sponsored by Imperial Wagyu beef there for several years, and Tammy would always bring us the goods, and obviously having the prime parking spot there in Knoxville makes right on the heavily traveled area, so makes it easy for people to stop by.
You must see some incredible things, Brady, out of your front window on Knoxville Nationals weekend, because everybody makes the trip back from Dingus to turn 3 and 4 right by your front yard.
Yeah, we usually still up at that point because we eat after and things like that, and have a picnic table and everything set up. And yeah, you can, right when it gets 2:00, you see the people start stumbling on their way to turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, the Corn Belt Nationals, the BRANDT Professional Agriculture Corn Belt Nationals, is an event that you've won many times at the Knoxville Raceway. And the most recent, of course, was not exactly it was a stressful situation for you, particularly before the A main. Can you tell us what happened there?
It wasn't, I mean, I am fortunate to have some really good guys, but we had an oil leak that we thought we had kind of patched up and fixed, but just wasn't comfortable running it for a race with that big stake. So we put another engine in, and we're able to get the job done. So that engine actually won us several races. The one that we won Knoxville with this year, it won 3 races. We ran it 6 times and it won 3 of them. So it was a pretty good engine for us. But Gene Frankowiak from Pennsylvania helps us with our engine program for all the USAC races. And as you know from the video, just people like him, it's not possible to, obviously race teams don't just make money by themselves. So without people like that helping us and kind of connecting all the dots, we couldn't do it.
Brady, you're a very determined man. I mean, everything you approach, you go out there to win, or you go out to have a significant impact. So it must be really difficult at times with the winged program at Knoxville. You go from being the man to beat without the wing to Knoxville where you blend into the field and you have to just give it a crack as best you can. What is the fundamental difference in being fast at Knoxville with a wing and without one? Because you got the non-wing down pat.
Yeah, I mean, just funding and time is two things. I mean, we kind of gave a pretty good shot at running expanded wing schedule, I think in 2017. And it's just a lot of money. It takes a lot of money. And then to get engines and to keep your engines fresh and keep them running right, you could buy a brand new engine and it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's really tough. And that's super critical at Knoxville.
Yeah.
And then also we race, 40, 50 non-wing races a year, and we might only race this year. We ran like 3 wing races.
Yeah.
So, and you're racing against guys that race 80 wing races a year, and they're just, the competition is so close and tight that those guys that are just fine tuning everything, it's hard to just show up and beat them. My best run at the Nationals was my first Knoxville Nationals in 2010. We were actually should have probably locked in our prelim night, got in a wreck. David Gravel blew a tire and we got caught up in it, and then we're running second in the B feature on Saturday and had a flat tire. So we're still able to win Rookie of the Nationals that year, but it's kind of disheartening sometimes to go there and not be able to even match the performance of the first year you were there when you didn't even know what you were doing and just happened to fall into it. But we kind of curb our expectations when we go there. We know that we don't race full time, and if we run good, then that's great. And if we don't get too beat up about it. But we've been able to, the tracks that we are good at, we're really good at.
Yeah.
Tri-State Speedway, we've contended for outlaw wins there, and we won an all-star race at Eldora, and so we've had our share of success. But Knoxville's obviously everything's magnified because everyone brings the best they got and they work the hardest for that race. So it's hard to compete, and it's a super extremely technical racetrack. And the format's also very tough. There's no lucking into anything. You have to be fast and you have to pass cars to put it all together at Knoxville.
If there's a favorite racetrack of yours, not so much because of how you performed on it, but because of something significant that happened there, would there be a favorite racetrack for you, Brad?
Winchester is obviously my most significant thing that's happened. I met my wife there. She's been trying to hide this whole time.
Yeah, she just say, "Come on, honey.
Come on." Slowly. Okay, well, what do you want you?
Yeah. Hey, ZZ, good to see you, darling.
Hi.
So I'm good when I see your beautiful family. So Winchester, Indiana. Why is Winchester? How did you meet this beautiful woman?
I won my first USAC national sprint car race at Winchester, and she was the trophy girl. So she's been there for every one of my USAC sprint car wins because we've been together ever since.
Z, were you a race fan before all this happened?
I was not. I kind of did the races with the Speedway here. I was when I was in high school, I was in the Miss Indiana Teen USA pageant, and so we kind of did like a trade out, and they like helped sponsor me for my pageant, and in trade I did like the Queen stuff at the track for their bigger races. So I did like 4 or 5 races for a couple years, and that was like the last race I did.
Could there be anything more American than the Miss Teen Indiana USA pageant? I mean, gosh, it's like apple pie and Chevrolet stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. It was an experience. It was pretty neat to do.
What do you remember about Brady that night? You remember thinking, holy smokes, this guy's hot? Or were you like Zan with Sheldon? This is kind of like, I don't date race boys, go away.
He was stricken.
I was not.
Stricken.
He had to bother me with text messages for probably a good week and a half before I finally went on a date with him.
It is like Sheldon and Zan's story, because I don't think Zan was overly interested either.
No.
Yeah, well, if there's like the one thing your parents tell you not to do, is probably date a race car driver. Don't do that.
Yes.
So we have to be extra motivational to help them realize.
So how lucky was that you won that race that night? Because Brady, had you not won that race, you might not have even seen the girl.
I saw her. I would have seen her, but she might not have seen me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good point. Okay, good point. So was it like, here's your trophy, here's a kiss on the cheek, how you doing? Like, how did that roll from there?
Oh, my confidence level was pretty high, obviously, after winning the race. So I
We were getting ready to leave.
And so does the win include the trophy girl's number? How does that work?
Oh, nice.
Super smooth.
Nice.
He tricked me on going on a date with him in the first place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she lived an hour from where I was in Brownsburg, and she's like, "Oh, it's too far. You don't need to come up here." So I told her that I had to pick up some parts, and that I was going to be up in that area anyway. So
yeah,
I'll call you when I'm done picking the parts up. So I just headed up that way and called her when I was about to where I said I was going to pick the parts up, and said, "Oh, I'm done." And
how far was the drive?
it was about an hour, so I was probably over halfway, and then I said, "All right, I'm up here." So
it's not like the Jake Owen song, driving all night. It's you were. Okay. Now, Brady, as many racers know, a racer's wife, partner, girlfriend, however you want to refer to it, is more than just somebody that you get to kiss at the end of the night. They are absolutely, and Z is a great example of this, massively important to your whole racing program, with T-shirts, with marketing, with being the face of your racing as well. She plays a huge role in your life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, taking care of the kids is a full-time job in and of itself, and taking care of T-shirt orders and designs and working the trailer. And, we've kind of refined our routine a little bit and make it a little easier for her and me both. But just figuring that out together was can be difficult and stressful sometimes, but she's the best for sure at what she does, and makes it where I can focus on my job and not have to worry about the rest of it. And the merchandise is a major part of how we make our living. So without that, it's pretty hard to make enough money to support a family with a wife and 3 kids.
I think I had a conversation, Z, with Zan about, is it ever a point where the fan standing there with a buddy who's not a fan of that particular driver, and they don't realize that, that maybe you're Brady's wife, and be like, "Oh, that Bacon, I don't do that," and not realize that they're standing there in front of his wife. Has that ever happened to you?
No, not really. Everybody's pretty, race fans it's a family. And
yeah,
some people would be like, "Oh, I don't want a Bacon shirt." Like if they come up with somebody, you're like, "No, I'm good." But I respect that. Their choice, their choice. And so, yeah.
Just make sure I want to make a design that they can't refuse.
Oh.
I try really hard to sell them something though.
So that's got to be tough for both of you to come up with, because you imagine there's thousands of new merchandise designs every year from all the respective teams across America. It's difficult to keep things fresh. How do you come up with new ideas for
that? We just kind of put our heads together. If we see something, you have to play off what's popular at the time, because it doesn't last. Usually fads and stuff don't last long. So just kind of keep up with what's trendy and
a lot of research. Like I'll get on boutiques and stuff and look and see what the look is that everybody's going for, and
usually whatever I think would be really cool and we make it, doesn't sell very well. So sometimes I hit a couple home runs every once in a while, but it seems like everything that I think would be cool that everyone would like is not cool.
Yeah,
apparently.
It's just a lot of brainstorming, and it's constantly in the back of your mind, okay, what do we need to do next? So
show me the new design that you sketched, Brady. I love the idea that you just scribbled down an idea that you got in your head. How did that come about, Brady?
If I can do it with this live video.
Yeah, you can.
You should be able to just get out of the live video to do it.
I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Brady, what do you think of my methanol moonshine apparel, mate? You like my my new designs?
Yeah, I like it.
They're available through Logo Daddy. I'm going to flick everyone the link to it. We're doing cool tanks and tees and caps. We're doing all this down in Australia, but our friends at Logo Daddy, John and Julia, distributing for us in America, making it and setting it out. So get across it. So you got it there, Z?
Yep.
So that's pretty graphic there, Brady. Did it take long to scribble that together, mate?
About 10 seconds. I'm actually pretty proud of it. When you see the final product, you'll see the correlation, but kind of wanted to, it's fall right now, and obviously racing's kind of winding down, but we've been trying hard to kind of keep the stuff online going year round and give people kind of more, I guess, time specific or, you know, specialty shirts, and the fall hunting and stuff. And Bush Light has kind of their
oh, nice
fall cans. They come out with special edition cans, so we kind of use some of their ideas on that to kind of come up with something festive and fall, and something that we thought at least most people would probably like.
So you really need a graphic artist that works with you with your t-shirt design, that understands you, because you know when you're trying to tell someone a song and you go, oh, it's like I don't know, it kind of goes na 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 na, and they have to go so you go, hey, I want this. Can you make this look cool?
I don't. The sketching we usually don't have to do. R&R does our t-shirts and usually does a pretty good job of kind of getting our ideas. But when it's, you know, that was a pretty specific thing that I kind of wanted, and sometimes it's just hard to put it into words. So a little quick sketch sometimes gets the job done.
Yeah.
Our minds work so differently, and it's just sometimes her explaining to me something or me explaining to her something just in words, we just can't get through sometimes. So just sketching it out, or I'm very visual, like, you know, even talking about anything, like we're working on building a house or whatever. She's got it envisioned done, and she's putting the flowers on the shelf, and I'm looking at the blueprint and wondering how many inches it is from this wall to this wall. So it's very hard to sometimes meet in the middle and try to figure out what we're talking about, but we usually figure it out.
I think that we all know that Z brings the style to this relationship, mate. I think when I look behind you, Brady, I'm pretty sure you didn't lay out the coffee design there, and
all that out myself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm going to say that that's all ZZ, that she does a lot of that. And I remember you pretty well remodeled your motorhome, I think, last year as well, Z. Like, just, you know, thank God for social media, because we wouldn't know these things. But I followed your progress.
Yeah, we like completely gutted it and
had some guys at the shop,
renovated it.
You know, provided some beer and they helped us, you know, tear it apart. It was a lot easier tearing it apart than it was putting it back together. I can tell you that.
If anybody would like to ask these guys some questions, Eric has just helped me out with that as well at the moment. Please do so. You are building very soon. You got basically a block that you're starting to build on soon.
Yeah, we got the 5 acres here in Winchester. We've been looking for land for quite a while, but it's a difficult situation. There's just a handful of people that own all the land. So farming is a big deal around here. So it usually stays within the family. It's hard to find land to just buy, and we were able to find a wooded 5 acres and just had it all cleared off, and that's about 95% done, and start getting a driveway put in and stuff like that. But
we kept the back 2 acres.
We kept the back 2 acres is fully wooded still.
Good.
Cut some trails in there for kids to ride 4-wheelers or motorcycles or whatever when they get a little older. But looking like probably have to wait a little bit on the house. The pandemic and stuff, the prices of building materials has skyrocketed here lately. So we're just gonna sit tight and see what happens here in the next few months, and hopefully they come back down and we can get things going in the spring.
Where does pavement fit on your schedule and in your world, Brady? Because I haven't seen you do a lot of it. Like, do you have plans to do more of it? And what was the last pavement sort of significant campaign you did?
Yeah, it was 2008. 12 years ago was the last time I ran pavement.
Wow.
So I guess the last race probably would have been Turkey Night of that year. But it was a struggle if you don't have your ducks in a row. It's I struggle like on dirt. If my car's off or not handling properly, I can adjust, drive it different, find a different part of the racetrack to run on. But on pavement, if your car's not good, you just have to tough it out. There's nothing you can do about it. So and being young, 17, 18 years old, you know, I think I will be a lot better at relaying, feeling the changes that need to be made, and just have a better understanding of race cars in general. So I'm hoping that I can apply that and and be at the top of the heap. There's specialists, we call them pavement specialists, Cody Swanson, Bobby Santos, people like that they're going to be really tough to beat. And there's not a whole lot of races to kind of sharpen your tools to try to beat them. So plan on running probably most of the pavement Silver Crown races next year.
Cool.
But kind of have a plan on that. We were supposed to race Toledo this last weekend, but it got rained out. So probably saved me some grief the next morning after Lawrenceburg anyway, feeling bad. So I had to get home and get ready to go to Toledo other than staying there and celebrating. So
yeah. So if you could put every one of the genres that you drive, let's just say that every car is on the point. So the wing car is rocking, the midget is on point, the non-wing sprint is on point, the Silver Crown car. What is the most fun to drive?
I always just say whatever's making the most money is kind of I like them all. But non-wing sprint cars are kind of where I found my most success and what I feel like I'm the best at. But I think keeping a variety of cars, running a variety of cars, different series, different tracks, kind of keeps things fresh. If you just do the same thing over and over and over, it can just get just mentally draining. You can tell, like you can see guys that are on the Outlaw Tour for a long time. They just kind of get in a routine, and you can see sometimes when their performance is struggling a little bit that they're just kind of stuck in the routine and just need. And I just enjoy doing different stuff, and I've been fortunate enough to be successful in a lot of different kind of cars. So it's not like I'm just going to go over here and just get my butt kicked just to do something different. We usually can be pretty competitive, and it's gratifying at the same time to be able to be successful in a lot of different disciplines.
Both of you guys were extremely close to Brian Clausen, like family. I think that's safe to say. When BC was rolling the 200 campaign and it seemed like the whole planet was engaged. Oh, wow. Like, is it possible? Can he do it? What's he going to do next? It seems like at the moment with what Kyle is doing with winning in so many different places and John, is that excitement has been rebuilt around that. And midget racing is really surging as well now again, which is great. I guess BC would be around you every day, wouldn't he, in many forms? And I know that he was particularly close with Lemoney, wasn't he, Z, if I remember rightly?
Yep, Uncle B.
Yeah.
She had him wrapped around her finger.
Yeah. I mean, there was just something special about Brian's ability to get in anything and wheel it. And maybe that's what I'm seeing a little bit with Kyle at the moment. There's a lot of publicity about that at the moment, how well he's doing. And you've had one of your best years as well. What was it about Brian that made him such a phenomenal driver?
Brian, Kyle has just a raw, natural ability. You can put him in a dump truck and he's going to be the fastest. Brian had a really good knack for building relationships and surrounding himself with good people, putting teams together, connecting the dots, connecting people, this person working with this person, and just putting all the pieces together. Obviously a phenomenal talent, but he, put himself in the best position possible to win races. And, he just had a natural ability to do that. Just juggling all those different teams. And some people have a hard enough time with one team getting along with everybody. And he had, Matt Wood, Joe Dooling, Brody Hayward, mid sprint cars, his dad, everything, IndyCar stuff. He was just able to keep those relationships all tied, and some of those people without him in the middle being the buffer wouldn't get along without him kind of he was the glue to everything that went on there. And he spent a lot of time on the phone, and I'm sure just like a lot of us do, just keeping the wheels greased and keeping them rolling and keeping everybody happy. And then he was just able to, the good teams that he was with, obviously he just was able to capitalize with his talent and win a bunch of races.
And so, as a mum, as a parent, when you walk into a store, if the salesperson crouches down and speaks to your children, they've half already got you as a person, because all you want is people to treat your children well. And so as a mum, the bond that BC had with Lemoney must have really just warmed your heart, more than what he could do in a race car, what he could do with your daughter.
Oh yeah, Brian was like, to kind of like other racers, to people, they're the race car drivers, and
Yeah.
to us he was just Uncle B. And that's every racetrack we went to, that's what we did before the race, is we just hung out in each other's motorhomes and lounged around and got lunch together and went to each other's houses and birthday parties and stuff, just like family. I mean, that's what we were. So yeah, it was a big change when we lost him. Something else that I had to go through was, like, Lauren was at every race that we were at, and so my best friend's not at the races with us every night. So it was hard, but yeah, very heartwarming. And even fans now, fans bring the kids stuff and prizes and stuff to the merchandise trailer, and just so thoughtful and so kind, and we appreciate it so much, because that's what you want. You just want everyone to be kind to your kids and love them and care for them, and see they'll see Lowry will escape the trailer and somebody will bring him back. It's Brady Bacon's kid. He's escaped trying to go watch the race cars.
I know why they're bringing him back. He'd be a bit of a handful.
The cops brought him back at Knoxville one day. He was on his little pedal bike or whatever. It doesn't have pedals. They call it a Strider bike. And we were there, and Hot Laps was on the track, and he's always like, Hot Laps is kind of his thing. He likes to watch Hot Laps, and he was up standing by the fence. The trucks and trailers go in turn 4 at Knoxville on his bike watching, and the cops like, what is this kid doing here? And luckily there was someone there like, oh, that's Bacon's kid. He's
Bacon's kid. Z, when you originally saw your life play out before you met this lunatic at Winchester, did you have an idea in your mind of white picket fences and a little house where you just stayed every day and bring up your children? And it's not like that now. You travel the world, really. You've been down to Australia, of course, and overseas with his racing as well. Is it a difficult life at times to manage a family like that?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not. Everybody says I make it look easy, but I don't. I just try to do my best, because it's my job, and I want, of course, we want to give our kids the best life that we can give them and enjoy it. And we love being out on the road together and be able to experience so many different things that, kids and most people and adults don't even get to travel and experience as much as we have, and our kids have at such a young age. So yeah, it's not, I guess, what I thought life would be like. And
trust me, she had it planned out. She's a planner, has everything pictured way in advance, and I'm a 5 minutes from now plan type of person on a lot of stuff. So
I've gotten better. She's
gotten better, and I've gotten better too, planning ahead. And like I said, we've just adjusted our routine to make it easier on everybody. And just knowing people all over the country and having your kids be able to go to other people's house. Like, we have a family, Josh and Tammy Pop in Pennsylvania, Uncle Josh and Aunt Tam, that I've known for 12 years, and that we just go there to go there, not to race sometimes. And people in Iowa and Knoxville is like, the kids look forward to going to Knoxville, which Knoxville kind of has that effect on everybody, kind of making it feel like home. But to have different places like that and people all over the country, I feel pretty fortunate to be able to kind of expose our kids to that.
Well, geography always sucked when I was a kid at school, but look at you guys. You can just go look out the window. That's what's in your book. We're driving right past it. So you actually get to take your children on it's always like a night at the museum. You can just travel and show them this is what it really is.
Yeah, it's going to slow down a little bit. Lev's in kindergarten now, and she's in public school. So we won't be able to do as much, but luckily the majority of our race season is the summertime, and she'll miss school here and there. But I feel like our school system, being in a small town, they know what we do for a living, and I feel like they will probably entrust us and our children doing their schoolwork and doing she loves school. Like, we couldn't keep her away from it.
I have homework.
We couldn't.
Wow.
away from it if we wanted to. So yeah, loves school.
You need to go back and get your old school teacher, Brady, that helped you sneak through the system, through the cracks in the pavement, mate.
Yeah, I'll have to find out who's in charge and give them some t-shirts or something.
Yeah, sling them some t-shirts. Hey, it's really great to catch up with you guys. It's nice to see you looking so well and the kids are healthy in these, uncertain times. But just want to send the love out to, all of the racing community, wherever you are throughout the world. Just be safe and be kind. Right now, everyone's pretty reactive to a lot of things. And you know what? In our world, guys, we get to go around in circles every day with our best friends. And that's what we've got to keep in mind. Congratulations on another championship, Brady. And congratulations, Ian, on being just a beautiful soul that goes with this incredible guy who wheels a race car. And thank you so much for coming on Wednesday nights with Wade at the Knoxville Raceway page.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
It's so good to catch up with you.
Absolutely. Next year, 2021 schedule is coming out soon for the Knoxville Raceway. I can't wait for the 60th Knoxville Nationals. That's going to be massive. I look forward to dropping by for one of Mama's lemonades and the gummy bears. I shouldn't forget the gummy bears. Really good to catch up with you. Be safe. Good luck with the house and with, of course, Z designing all that and you trying to work out the blueprint.
Yeah, for sure. We've about got it all hammered out.
Good man. Hey, talk to you soon, eh?
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.